Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Compact Everyday Carry and Gadgets. And the topic of the day is, should you carry with a round in the chamber? This is a debate a lot of people have. There's not really a wrong or right answer. This is all very opinion based, and I guess what makes the more sense for you and what you are comfortable with. I'll tell you a little background, kind of when I began and how I started. When I purchased my first firearm, I walked around with it. Believe it or not, this might sound funny, but I just wanted to train and feel comfortable holstering appendix a firearm. So for the first, I don't think it was a whole week, but maybe the first 2-3 days, I just carried the handgun empty. No rounds in the magazine or in the chamber. I just wanted to feel comfortable. Tried out belts, tried out clips. Tried out belts, tried out holsters, and also just dress attire, like what I could dress with and conceal the right way, feel comfortable. Because the one thing you got to get used to when you first start carrying is you kind of feel like people could tell, like people could notice that you have a firearm on you. So you kind of start messing with your shirt, or you always catch yourself kind of looking down at the whole area, because I guess your mind is thinking that other people are noticing, like you're calling for attention, when in reality nobody notices, as long as you're concealing correctly and nobody's out there looking for people who are carrying. So that's what I did to feel comfortable. Then eventually first handgun I had a safety, so I went into carrying one in the chamber right away. But what I did do, I carried one in the chamber but with the safety on. So what I started to do when I was practicing, every time I would go to the range, I would practice disengaging the safety all simultaneously while I'm pulling out the firearm. While I'm pulling it out right here, I'm already disengaging the safety. So I noticed that it wasn't really delaying my timings. So it kind of gave me a little peace of mind that I was able to carry one in the chamber, but at the same time have the manual safety of the firearm on, like active. So I had a gun on safety, but one on the chamber. So what I was doing practicing in the range was I would always pull out, and right while I'm pulling out, I'm already disengaging. So by the time I present the firearm, I'm not disengaging. It's already ready to go. And that's what I've been comfortable to this day. There's certain guns that have manual safeties, and I'll do that. I also have kids. I'm very, very responsible with my firearms. My firearms are never accessible unless they're on me. But when I'm home, it's always in a safe, like I said, unless it's on me at the time. So the handgun itself is never just openly accessible to anybody. But still, just being a parent, I feel like I just like having that peace of mind. I got that manual safety. It'll buy you some time if, God forbid, you have to react quickly. And what I did, I practiced in the range. I practiced disengaging that safety while pulling up right before presenting the firearm. But most of my handguns right now do not have safeties, do not have manual safeties, and I still carry one in the chamber. But that, like I said, it takes a little time to get used to. It is a little intimidating, especially when you're pointing something directly towards your manhood. And a lot of people don't feel comfortable with that, and I get it 100%. But when you start to consider why do we carry in the first place, and we carry in the first place for protection. And most of the time when you're trying to protect yourself, those moments are going to happen in a blink of an eye. And they're going to try to get the drop on you. They're going to try to get you when you're lacking, when you're not paying attention. That's when most predators will want to attack, when you're not expecting it. So then you got to think realistically, do you have time? If you're not carrying one in the chamber, will you have time to cock the gun back and then present it? Because remember, if a predator is out to get you, they're professionals at what they do. They will try to get you when you least expect it, so that you don't have time to react or even give you time to reach for anything. So you got to make sure that split second that you're able to react, you're ready to go if you need to go. But if you got to cock the slide cock the slide back, you're gonna have to create space between you and whatever the threat is. And realistically, you probably won't have that time, because if they get the drop on you, whether they're presenting you with a firearm, you won't have time to react. By the time you reach, then you also got to cock, Like, yes, people train for these situations, and they train pulling out and cocking the slide back. But realistically, it'll be very difficult to have that time. So you got to think about these things. Now, of course, not all threats and not all attacks will be done in close encounters. Maybe you're somewhere where there is a threat, but it's not directly towards you. An example, let's say you're in an open space or in a mall, and there's an attack on random people, not particularly on you. Then yes, you have time to assess the situation, cock the slide back, point, aim, or whatever you got to do. And for those situations, that's perfect. But carrying one in the chamber, you'll be ready for all situations a little better than you would if you have to cock the slide back and do all that kind of stuff. So like I said, the way I kind of gradually stepped up to carrying one in the chamber was when I first got my firearm, I started carrying with nothing in the handgun. I lasted 2 to 3 days just getting used to walking around with the handgun in my riding it appendix. Like I said, the handgun was completely empty. It was just for me to get comfortable with that being there, walking, sitting, and not feeling like everybody's looking at me. And then, like I said, my first firearm did have a manual safety. So I was able to, when I started feeling comfortable, when I started walking around with the firearm loaded, it had one in the chamber, but with the safety with the safety on. And then when I went to the range, I would practice, like I said, deactivating the safety while I'm coming up. So in reality, the timing wasn't being affected by the safety being on or off. But like I said, after that, since then I've had multiple firearms, and a lot of them come with no safeties. The only safeties you get are either in the trigger or maybe not even that at all. So it takes practice, and it takes kind of a little time to build up the confidence to do that. But if you ask me, the right thing to do would be carrying one in the chamber, just because of that. You're ready for all types of situations a little bit better. Because not all situations will give you time to think. Not all of them will give you time to kind of create space between you and whatever the threat is, and then pull back and cock the slide back and then present. God forbid there's a threat, an altercation. If you see somebody pull out a fire, the first thing you're going to kind of try to do is either try to snatch it off of them or keep it down. So if you got to present, make space to cock, you're not going to have that time in reality. That's giving the threat time to kind of stop you from doing anything. So those are my 2 cents. Let me know down in the comments, how was your process, or whether you don't even carry with one in the chamber, or you do. Let me know down in the comments. I'll be very interested in knowing. And a lot of people, especially even experienced gun owners or especially new ones, are still kind of debating this question, whether they should carry one in the chamber. It is a little, when you think about exactly what you're doing, it is a little scary. Because like I said, it's pointing at something so valuable to you. But yeah, let me know down in the comments. Just wanted to spark up this conversation and talk to you guys. Like I said, I learned a lot from you guys. I learned a lot from the comments. So just let me know down in the comments how you guys feel. How did you guys prep for it? Are you rocking with one in the chamber? Are you rocking with one in the chamber but the safety engaged? Or are you not rocking with one in the chamber? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys. Compact everyday carry and gadgets.